Alright, the Women's World Cup is on and I have nothing better to do, so let's cover every single game. Group A starts off with a match between hosts New Zealand and Norway. New Zealand are looking for their first World Cup win, while Norway are looking to get their campaign started off on the right foot. And so far, they seem to be doing just that, as they kept pummeling New Zealand with shot after shot. Unfortunately for them, they couldn't land a single one in the net. Both teams had many shots, but hardly any of them were on target. Nevertheless, both teams kept firing at each other for minutes. Then in the 48th minute, Hannah Wilkinson draws first blood for New Zealand off of a counterattack goal. New Zealand wound up winning 1-0, gaining their first World Cup win. The second match of the tournament was Australia versus Ireland. However, Australia would be without captain Sam Kerr. Both sides played really well, but it was Australia who prevailed off of a Steph Catley penalty in the 52nd minute. Despite losing the match 1-0, Ireland still put up a really impressive fight for their World Cup debut. What we got next was the really boring match between Nigeria and Canada. Canada's Christine Sinclair had the two most notable chances of the game. This included a wide-open shot that she sent wide in the 8th minute, and a penalty in the second half, which was saved by Chiamaka Nnadozie. The end result was a 0-0 draw, with Nigeria surprisingly halting a far superior Canadian side. The next match we got was debutants Philippines against Switzerland. Despite Switzerland heavily dominating the match, the Philippines had some good chances too. Unfortunately for them, in the 42nd minute, a soft penalty was called, and Ramona Bachmann calmly slides it in. 20 minutes later, the Swiss score again off of a deflected goal. Unfortunately for the Philippines, this is how the match would end. Wow, I'm surprised that there haven't been any blowouts yet. Oh, these were all quite boring matches, so I'll just skim over them. Costa Rica. How does this happen? I did not think that I would witness a game as bad as the men's edition of this, but you may have proven me wrong. I mean, how do you get outshot 45-1? We got true world-class defending from Costa Rica on this one. Honestly, props to Daniela Solera. Without her, this game might have reached 10-0. Despite the US dominating this match, I would still call it an underwhelming performance. Considering this was against World Cup debutants Vietnam, I expected a scoreline similar or at least close to the one against Thailand last time. The US took the lead in the 14th minute when Sophia Smith hit a good shot to score. Then in the 42nd minute, a careless foul by Vietnam occurred in the box, giving the USA a penalty. But fortunately for Vietnam,
Thi Kim Thanh Chan
wasn't having any of it and blocks Alex Morgan's penalty. Unfortunately for Vietnam, they would end up conceding twice more to Sophia Smith and Lindsey Horan. This game was a lot closer than what the scoreline suggests. This is what USA versus Vietnam should have been. Zambia made a lot of defensive mistakes and Japan capitalized on a lot of them. Zambia kept it close in the first half before completely self-destructing in the second. Here is every goal. Japan cruised right by debutant Zambia, but let's see if they can do the same against Costa Rica next match. The next match saw Haiti surprisingly hold England to only a penalty goal. The next matches included Denmark and Sweden barely passing by their respective opponents in China and South Africa. The Netherlands won by an early goal against Portugal, Jamaica held France to a draw, and Italy beats Argentina in the 87th minute. Following was the German destruction of Morocco and an Ari Borges hat-trick to lead Brazil past Panama. Afterwards was South Korea versus Colombia. It started out evenly matched, with both sides having good shots on goal. Both sides kept firing at each other, but each goalkeeper kept the ball out of their net. However, in the 30th minute, a Korean handball gives Colombia a penalty, which Catalina Usmek calmly converts. After the penalty, it was all Colombia, with dangerous chance after dangerous chance. And in the 39th minute, Linda Caicedo scores a beautiful goal to top off an amazing performance from Colombia. Match day 2 started off with a heavily favored New Zealand side going up against the putant Philippines. Despite being in control for nearly the entire game, one bad clearance attempt led to a Serena Bolden header which ended up in the back of the net, giving the Philippines the lead in the 24th minute. If they could somehow hold on to this lead, they would have one of the greatest upsets in the group stage. And they did just that, surprising everybody by beating New Zealand 1-0. Afterwards, Norway, looking to bounce back from their loss to New Zealand, were facing Switzerland, who just came off of a 2-0 win to the Philippines. Unfortunately for Norway, all they could salvage was a draw. Costa Rica, looking to redeem themselves from that loss to Spain, managed to only lose 2-0 to Japan in much less embarrassing fashion. Japan once again showed their class with another dominating win over Costa Rica this time. Minami Tanaka managed 2 assists to Hikaru Naomoto and Aoba Fujino in the 25th and 27th minutes respectively. I wonder how Zambia have been faring in the World Cup. Yeah, moving on. After that, slaughter was Canada versus Ireland. Surprising many, Ireland went up in the 4th minute off of an absolute beauty of an Olympic goal from Katie McCabe. Unfortunately, it would be the Irish who spelled their own doom due to an own goal right before halftime, and things only got worse as in the 53rd minute, Adriana Leon scores again. The game ended 2-1, and this officially knocks Ireland out of the World Cup. Next up was a rematch of the 2019 final between the Netherlands and the USA. Surprising many, the Netherlands went up in the 70th minute with a Jill Roord goal. Unfortunately, Lindsey Horan scored to equalize in the 62nd minute. Final score, USA 1, Netherlands 1. Next up, Portugal faced Vietnam. This was an absolutely dominating performance by the Portuguese. In the 7th minute, a good string of passes landed a ball in the back of the Vietnamese net. Portugal 1, Vietnam 0. Portugal almost scored again in the 15th minute, but luckily for Vietnam, it went wide. Then in the 21st minute, Francisca Nazareth beats the Vietnamese defenders to score again for Portugal. With this, the Vietnamese are officially eliminated from the World Cup. What we saw next was an absolute thriller between Australia and Nigeria. In the 19th minute, Australia's Caitlin Ford almost hits an absolute banger from outside of the box. In the 40th minute, Nigeria are awarded a free kick with Christy Ucheibe almost rams home from a volley. However, it would be Australia who draw first blood with a goal from Emily Van Egmond in the 45th minute. Though Nigeria are quick to respond, with Uchenna Kanu being in the right place at the right time, scoring from a deflected ball. Then, in the 65th minute, Isanachi Ohale finds herself in the right place at the right time to score again for Nigeria. 7 minutes later, an error by the Aussie backline gives Asisat Oshoala a chance to score, which she does, to give Nigeria their third. Australia would get one back in the 10th minute of stoppage time, but it was too little too late as Nigeria would go on to win 3-2. Following was Argentina versus South Africa. In the 30th minute, an absolutely embarrassing Argentinian defensive meltdown led to a goal by South Africa. It was thought to be offside, but after a VAR review, it was confirmed to be a goal. Another blunder by the Argentinian defense led to a second goal by South Africa, as they seem to be running away with this. In the 74th minute, Sophia Brown scores an absolute banger from outside of the box to give Argentina life. But surely South Africa won't choke this game away. And just like that, Argentina come back and it's a tie game. Argentina managed to salvage a draw while South Africa disappointedly choke. What happened next was an absolute mess of a match between China and Haiti. This game was heated all around, and in the 28th minute, Zhang Rui committed a hard foul to get herself red carded. Then, in the 71st minute, a controversial foul gave China a penalty and a chance to take the lead. Wang Shuang takes full advantage of this to put her country up 1-0. This was probably the dirtiest game of the tournament so far, including many missed fouls which could have changed the game. We then got Sweden versus Italy. Italy were huge favorites to win the match and started off looking like it, with them pummeling the Swedish goal. However, the Swedes would score first off of a header in the 39th minute. But after the goal, it seemed that Italy had lost all the confidence that they once had, and started playing as if they already lost. I don't feel that I have to go through the rest of the game. The Swedes were confident in themselves, and the Italians weren't. This led to an absolute destruction of the Italians by the Swedes. I will show the next goals rapidly. End result was a disappointing Italian performance, while an absolutely dominating Swedish performance. France then defeat Brazil 2-1, putting their hopes at advancing at severe jeopardy. Afterward, we saw Jamaica beating Panama 1-0. Later, we saw a beautiful Moroccan goal to give them the edge past South Korea. This keeps Morocco's hope of advancing alive, while severely damaging Korea's. Next, we got Colombia versus Germany. This game was action-packed from the start, with both teams having great chances. Colombia broke through first after a deflected pass led to a Linda Caicedo goal, her second of the tournament. All was well for Colombia until in the 88th minute, Catalina Perez, the goalkeeper, commits a foul in the box. This gives Germany a chance to equalize, which they do through a penalty. Through this, the Germans were able to salvage a draw, breaking Colombian heart. But no! The spirit of 2018 German national team comes back to haunt them as they choke the game away, and Colombia get a much-deserved win, thus concluding match day 2. Next day kicks off with New Zealand versus Switzerland. New Zealand need a win to advance, while Switzerland can just sit back and hope for a draw. The Kiwis show their urgency, but unfortunately none of their shots can land in the back of the net. And though they gave it their all, the game ends 0-0, eliminating New Zealand from the World Cup. What happened next was, Norway, with this huge win, advances over New Zealand, and the Philippines have a very eventful debut campaign. Who knows what they could accomplish next time? The next match saw debut in Zambia grab their first win over Costa Rica 3-1. Costa Rica go home with a very forgetful campaign. Next was a match between the two Group C heavyweights to see who would come out topping the group, and that was surprisingly lopsided. Moving on, a draw that saw Nigeria advance to the knockouts while Ireland escaped without a single win. Following this. That sure was a load of goals. During this time, Denmark beat Haiti 2-0 to advance to the knockouts. The Haitians put up a strong defensive performance throughout the entire tournament. Let's see if this improvement can continue into their next World Cup. We then saw a match between Portugal and the United States in which the only reason the USA advanced to the knockouts was because of a pole. In the next game, we saw a confident Italian side press South Africa, win a penalty, and go up. However, as South Africa were pressing for a response, Italians grumbled and conceded an own goal due to a foolish blunder. Then in the 67th minute, the Italian defense break down and South Africa score a second, taking the lead. However, in the 74th minute, Italy get one back off of a corner, and now it's 2-2, and it looks like South Africa might have just choked again. Fortunately for the South Africans, they avoid becoming the Atlanta Falcons of the World Cup and score again off of another Italian blunder in the defense in the 92nd minute. The scoreline would remain the same, with Italy being eliminated and South Africa advancing to the knockouts. Afterwards, we saw Argentina versus Sweden. Though the Argentines fought hard, it was Sweden who prevailed after 2 late goals. Afterwards, a 0-0 draw sees Jamaica advance and eliminate Brazil in the group stages. Next, we have Morocco versus Colombia. Colombia already qualify, while Morocco need a win and a Germany loss or draw to advance. This match was really close, with both sides having chances to score. Then, 4 minutes into stoppage time, Morocco win a penalty, but it's blocked, but it goes in off of a rebound. The game ends 1-0. Colombia are in, but Morocco needs South Korea to show up big against Germany. South Korea are eliminated, and there's nothing they can do about it. However, they can play spoiler on Germany to keep them out of the knockouts. Germany here are having an underwhelming World Cup campaign, and they absolutely need to win this game in order to advance. Stakes of the game are high. Let's see how it turns out. In the 5th minute, South Korea break through the German defense and score first. It feels like 2018 all over again. Germany fight back desperately, and in the 42nd minute, they get a lucky break as they score off of a header. 1-1, Germany are still alive. However, there is no time to waste as Germany need another one. However, in the 57th minute, it looks like Germany has gotten a breakthrough as Lea Schüller pulls out her interior Luis Suarez, and it appears as if Germany have taken the lead. However, after VAR review, it was revealed to be offside. Germany fought hard, but in the end it was not enough as Korea holds on and they draw, eliminating Germany from the World Cup. In the spirit of 2018, keeps haunting both the German national teams. South Korea have done it again, and German fans go home disappointed. If you're still here, thank you for watching my video. This has taken a really long time to edit and took way too long to finish. I'll probably also make another video reviewing the knockouts, but that's for later. A like or sub would go a long way, thank you, and most importantly, credit to Macwell for the idea. Goodbye.